States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Colleen, will you please have roll call?
Mr. Ambrose?
Present.
Mr. Bloom?
Here.
Mr. King? Mr. Moad?
Here.
Mr. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Ross?
Here.
Dr. Eunice?
Here.
Mr. Zaritsky?
Here.
Ms. Belcastro?
Okay, thank you. Okay, before we go to public comments on agenda items only, I'd just like to state our policy is if you have something to say that's on the agenda, then basically you can speak now. If it's a non-agenda item, you can speak at the meeting, okay? And because of the size of the crowd and a number of other situations that we have to get done this evening, we would ask if you have something to say, please only make one trip to the microphone, okay? I mean, we can't have a constant back and forth. We respect everybody for being here tonight. We thank you for that. But let's try to limit our number of trips here, okay? If that's fair enough. Okay, does anybody have anything to comment on agenda item only? Okay, thank you. Minutes. Number 4, to approve the combined work and voting session minutes from July 15, 2021. Okay. Treasurer's report. Mr. King is absent this evening. So we'll talk about business items. 1, the following bills and reports are submitted for approval. 1, pay bills. 2, confirm the July 2021 general fund payments in the amount of $3,557,720.15. 2, confirm the July 2021 cafeteria fund payments in the amount of $12,317.71. And report to approve the July 2021 Berkheimer report. Okay, agenda items. Ms. Belcastro obviously is the chairperson, nothing on board and policy, and she is your president. She is unable to attend tonight. Just one other thought here. This is what we call a work session where our board goes over the agenda, and next week, next Thursday, is our typical voting session. So at that time, we would vote on anything on the agenda as well as anything else that's going on in the district. Okay? Thank you. Negotiation items, Mr. O'Neill.
We have nothing at this time.
Okay, thank you. Education items, Mr. Ross.
Yes, number 1, to approve the 2021-22 handbook revisions for the elementary schools, Central Valley Middle School and Central Valley High School. 2, to approve the adoption of the Central Valley District's Title I Parent Compacts. 3, to approve the 2021-22 bus schedule based upon approval of the administration. Approve Dr. Mocha to conduct student physical exams at Central Valley High School, Central Valley Middle School, Todd Lane, and Central Valley and Center Grange schools for the 2021-22 school year at the rate of $10 per student exam. 5, to approve Dr. Dragonek to conduct the student dental exams for the 2021-22 school year at a rate of $4 per student exam.
Thank you. Technology, Mr. Moad.
I have nothing.
Thank you. Athletics, Mr. King is the chairperson again, so let me read on his behalf. Number 1, to approve the following 2021-2022 coaches pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. And that is girls soccer, the AV head and a varsity assistant is to be determined. and the stipend is $1,400. And we're approving Tyler Bowman, volunteer varsity assistant with no pay. Extracurricular activities, Dr. Eunice?
We have nothing right now, Mr.
Thank you. Okay. Building and grounds, Mr. Zaritsky, chairperson.
Yeah, we're just looking to approve and confirm some building usage requests. The building, the organization that's using it, the dates they're looking to do it, and their purposes. That's all we have under building and grounds.
I have a couple others that I received either yesterday or today that'll be added to the agenda for next week.
Okay, anything else under there?
No, sir.
Thank you. Personnel items, Mr. Bloom?
They will be looking to approve the 2021-22 substitute list pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. Number 2, to approve the 2021-2022 roads transit bus driver aid list pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. Number 3, to approve the following 2021-2022 building monitor positions at Center Grange and Todd Lane at a rate of $10 an hour, pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. Names are listed there: Amy Wilson, Erin Licht, Kim Cunningham, Kelly Shield, and Jen Checketts. Number 4, to approve the resignation of Lou Ann Ruckert, cafeteria worker, effective July 26, 2021. We'll be looking to approve a secondary Spanish teacher, not at this time. Right, Dr. Perry?
So I'll be revising the personnel
Okay.
page, but yes, that's going to be removed.
Yes. We have not come up with a being teacher's name yet. Looking to approve Lacey Lombardi as a long-term sub at the high school for the 2021-2022 school year at a rate of $130 a day, pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. And to approve Julie Sudak as a long-term substitute at Todd Lane for the 2021-2022 school year at a rate of $130 a day, pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. Number 9, to approve the following personnel for band positions, pending receipt, review, and acceptance of all clearances. Names are listed there, position, and the stipends. Number 10, to approve the following 2021-2022 mentors, each with a stipend of $300, the names listed. Number 11, to approve the resignation of Emily Moore, paraprofessional, effective August 4th, 2021. Number 2, to approve the resignation of Stacy McCowan, paraprofessional, effective August 3rd, 2021. Anything else, Dr. Perry?
I'll have a couple additions. I know we have a few more paraprofessional names that are going to be added to the list for hire. We also have a resignation that I just received today on one of our part-time custodians. And there is the possibility of a couple of leave requests that may end up on the agenda as well.
Okay, thank you. Finance items. Number 1, to approve the adult meal price for the 2021-22 school year of $3.90. I think that's it.
That's it.
Superintendent's comment.
I just want to say the administration's been working, not just the administration, but everybody, custodians, getting ready for everyone to return, to come back to school. We have our new teacher orientation, which will start next Tuesday, the 17th. We have 3 days with our new teachers. The following Monday, the 23rd, is when all of our staff will be back. And then the students will be back the following Monday, which I think is the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. So getting closer. We're excited for the return of the kids.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, board member comments.
Any update on the final date for the gyms?
For the painting of the gyms?
For having them ready for,
Yeah, so my understanding is today that the high school gym here should be done by Wednesday of next week. I'm going to defer to Sam. Is Sam over there?
yeah.
I'm going to defer to Sam about the gymnasium over at the middle school on the finish date for that.
About a week after.
About a week after that.
A week after the high school.
I know the volleyball, we've been going over to CCBC, if I'm not mistaken, in order to accommodate that. That's really the one major thing going on right now. But we should be ready to go.
Okay. Should I ask different principals to speak before public comment?
No, it's up to you.
Okay. All right. Let's turn it over to our building leaders. Our athletic director, Mr. Chacon.
All right, transportation, we're winding down on the transportation schedules. They will be posted on the website the week of August 16th. I'm looking at more towards the middle of the week, the 18th. So those of you who have and are going to use transportation services, you can look on the website on Wednesday, the 18th-ish, and we'll have those posted for that. Okay. And as far as athletics are concerned, fall sports begin on Monday, August 16th, for fall sports. So they'll be running camps, following mitigation efforts as best as possible, and we will try and push forward with our fall sports. And with the gym floor done, hopefully by next Wednesday we'll be in those gyms, and then a week following with the middle school gym.
Okay, thank you. Senator Grange, Mrs. Kasanovich.
We're busy working on getting our assignment letters out to all the students so that they know what days and what teachers they have, what things are happening on what days. On all of the paperwork and things that the teachers need to get ready for the first day, for their first day on the 23rd, and just getting the building ready in general. We're just really busy.
That sounds good. What's Casey's last name? Okay, thank you very much. Ms. Hicks, give us an update on the middle school.
Just like at Center Grange, we're also preparing for the school, getting students their schedules, getting the building ready to as the students come back. We're very excited for the teachers and the students in the upcoming school year.
Okay, thank you. Our special ed director, Ms. Park.
For special education, we're working on finalizing teacher rosters, making sure all IEPs are up to date, and we're balancing rosters as we get new students. And most importantly, if anybody is interested in daytime school hour work, I am in need of paraprofessionals at Center Grange, Todd Lane, and the middle school. It is a great job if you have kids in school because it follows the school schedule. You'll have your holidays, your weekends, your evenings free. I can't say enough to try to beg you to please spread the word that we need paraprofessionals.
Okay, thank you. From Todd Lane, Ms. Farragotti.
Yes, so very similar to the other buildings, we're working very hard to organize and get ready for this school year. Our SWIBIS team, which is our school-wide positive behavior support team, they're meeting on Monday to get the building ready for the students' return and organize our first week of activities so that we are teaching our students.
Okay, thank you.
I'm really busy working.
Okay. You want to update us on the high school, Mr. Vukovican or Mr. McCreary, or both?
I'll go. We're ready to go at the high school. Schedules went live on Power School Monday. We have juniors and seniors having schedule changes today and tomorrow. Freshmen and sophomores next Wednesday and Thursday. We've taken care of all of that right now. We feel we're in a pretty good position to open school as in a typical school year coming up.
Next week in the high school, we have 6 new staff members. So we have new teacher orientation next week. So we're excited about that. We have some new faces in the building that look like they're going to be excellent teachers.
Okay, thank you. Our middle school principal, Mr. Dolph, you have anything to add?
Yeah, to Ms. Hicks, next week we have our Brave Warrior student mentor leaders coming in for their training. And they'll lead the activities for our beginning of the year, mentoring the incoming 6th graders, helping out with 6th orientation, all of those things. On the school safety side of it, we had a big training this morning with all of our first responders that included the fire departments and police departments of Center and Monaca, the emergency management from Center, Monaca, and Beaver County. That training went very well this morning. We have our active shooter training planned for Todd Lane building, the opening week of in-service. So we're finalizing that up. There'll be public notification going out in regards to those things. But yeah, we're giving building tours and setting up meetings with parents and students to start the year off and running. All is well in middle school.
Okay, thank you. Okay, before we open it up for public comments, we asked,
Mr. Imiller.
Mr. Imiller, I'm sorry I didn't see you back there.
I was hiding.
Our IT director, Mr. Imiller, sorry about that.
Staff is wrapping up classroom setups for the start of school for when the teachers come back. Been doing a lot of prep work of new staff orientation next week, and we're kicking off several curriculum working groups during the in-service week of school that are spread out throughout the weeks. Ready to go.
Okay, thank you. Before we open it up for public comments, I'd just like to remind everybody, as you come to the podium, please state your name and address for the record, okay? So it's your turn.
I'm Cindy Phillips. I live in Center Township. Couple random questions. One is, are we going to talk at this meeting or the next meeting about the status of the health and safety plan? What modifications we're going to be looking at, especially including the bus situation with masking. And a completely unrelated question, I'm wondering when soccer or water could be supplied to the soccer teams. It seems to be provided to the football, I believe, maybe to the band. So I'm just wondering if we can get some.
We can't hear you.
So she's asking, first let me speak on the health and safety plan. As of right now, nothing's changing with the health and safety plan as it has been voted on and presented. If something were to change between now and whenever, we would certainly make that public that we were considering a change to the health and safety plan. But as of right now, the health and safety plan as passed is what's in place. She's asking about water for the soccer team, when the soccer team will be provided water.
Yes. I mean, we're still encouraging them to bring their own water containers, but there will be water supplied.
Right, but I believe other athletics are getting water supplied for them, and I know there's been situations this past week where some kids ran out of water during soccer practice. It was so hot.
Our trainers just started this past week.
Okay.
They were off all summer, so they
Right.
Is it supplied through the school or the booster programs, Sam?
Pardon me?
Has it been supplied through the school or the booster?
As starting this week, it should be supplied by the school, when our trainers are there. So,
Prior to that, it would have been booster programs?
yes, booster programs where they were bringing their containers on their own.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I can tell you at the middle school, we're setting up the water buffalo for the coach to use only. Still encouraging students to bring their water bottles, but when they do run out, the coach is able to fill them up. So they won't be drinking from them, but we're able to refill them.
Okay. Any other comments?
Hi, James Peters, 2596 Front Street. Myself and many others requested last meeting that the board seek additional counsel on the mask mandates for on buses. Did the board seek that counsel?
So I have personally spoken to all of the superintendents in the other school districts as far as their interpretation from their school districts on the busing. Everybody's been consistent that I'm aware of with regards to the stance that the CDC mandate is law to this point. I did reach out again to a local representative asking for any new position on their end. I've yet to hear back from them.
But we did not seek out additional legal counsel like was requested?
Additional legal counsel.
Why not?
We're very confident in the counsel we have. So
I'm to understand that the board willfully ignored the request of all the people that came publicly and requested that we seek additional legal counsel?
That's the board. They're asking if you will seek additional counsel.
I don't think we're reaching out at this point. In fact, I think we're going to have more guidelines as time goes along here in the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I think we got to pause for now. We have a meeting next week. I think the state's supposed to come out with something on Friday.
That's the rumor that was out there, that the Department of Health was going to come out with additional guidance, whatever that means, supposedly as soon as Friday. So I don't know.
But would it not make sense to reach out before you voted on something?
I have reached out. We have a counsel that we pay for that.
Right, we asked for an
confident in the job that they do.
Okay, so you're just willfully ignoring what everybody asked about then?
We considered what was said, and we have confidence in our solicitor.
Okay.
Specializes in this.
All right.
School law.
Okay, thank you.
No reason to reach out.
I'm asking that you guys speak up. I'm going to try and speak up so everyone can be heard. It's very hard in the back of the room to hear you guys with the fans. My name is Barbara Shear, 122 Mangle Avenue. I want to go through what I continue to go through every time that I've been here, and that's the VAERS report. For those of you who don't know what that is the tracking system for these vaccines. I'm going to start with miscarriages, 1,381. This is through July 30th from the inception of these vaccines. Myocarditis and pericarditis, this is mostly males under the age of 30, 3,728. I want to mention that 2 months ago when I came here and spilled out these numbers, it was 264. That's a 93% increase in 2 months. I think that's staggering. Heart attacks, 5,236. Permanently disabled, 14,251. Life-threatening, 12,194. Severe allergic reaction, 23,354. Deaths, 12,366. That's more deaths from all vaccines in the last 30 years combined. Swine flu trials, vaccine trials ceased after 25 deaths. And every day, more and more schools, governments, and private businesses are mandating this vaccine under the guise of health and safety. I implore parents here tonight or watching on video, please do not mask your children. I know that parents think they're doing the right thing for their children, but it is not. If this was a virus of monumental proportions, then there would be biohazard containers everywhere that would allow you to throw away your contaminated mask, but there are not. And we would be encouraging a new mask after they have been in the bathroom or have eaten. Please use common sense. Imagine kids entering the bathroom, okay, wearing a mask that now has feces and waste, not only their own, but other children's as well, after they have contracted in their mask that they have gotten on their bathroom breaks. They also lay those masks down on tables, desks, lunchroom tables when they go to eat or take a mask break. And I can tell you the COVID virus doesn't live on surfaces, but severe staph and bacterial infections do. If that doesn't gross you out, I don't know what will. Not to mention the psychological effects of the mask, especially in our school-age children. Masks throughout history have been used to oppress people. Why would the board, consider this for our children? I have some questions for the board. Other than the reasoning of blindly complying with the CDC and the Pennsylvania Department of Health in regards to masks and vaccines, can any of you share with the parents what independent research you have examined to determine the decisions that you have decided for our children? Anyone do research on what these masks do to children? Independent research.
I've done a number of things, but I will trust what my research is. Independent research is not true research. It's reading things that anyone can pull up, and you can pull up things on either side of it. I read as much as anybody else. We have to go with what's mandated for us. Anything else, then we make decisions on recommendations, just as we said the last meeting.
Okay, so we're just going to do as we're told. So, with all due respect, Mr. Moad, not one person on this board or any teacher who teaches at this school district would accept a student's response of, he told me to do it, so I did, when trying to correct a child of possible wrongdoing. So why should we do it?
Anybody else?
April Katsafanis, 201 Morning Mist Drive. I've been to the last few school board meetings, and my concern still is what's going to happen with the primary and elementary school kids as far as iPads and digital crayons. If we're returning to normal, we're going back to school, I would like to know what degree, how much time is going to be spent on the iPads as opposed to paper and pencil. My soon-to-be fourth grader, straight A student, loves school, said to me tonight, I don't want to go back to school. I'm tired of the iPad. I'm tired of the crayon. She's been in corrective lenses since she was 1. She started to come home beginning of the last school year with headaches all day. We come home, the iPad is totally exhausted. The battery is dead. We go right into homework. We can't even do that because we have to charge an iPad because they've been on them all day long. So for the importance, again, children being our priority, their fine motor skills, their eyesight. Can someone tell me how much time for Center Grange and how much time for Todd Lane these children going forward are going to have on an iPad? And what is the purpose of an iPad if we're going to go back to school? I get technology is important. I'm not trying to downgrade that. As the kids grow and get older, technology is more important. But at this stage of their lives, they need their fine motor skills. Their handwriting is atrocious. My girls never were, but we're starting to backslide. So can someone give me an answer?
The principals and the teachers determine what's an appropriate amount of time for using whatever in the classroom. As far as us eliminating tech.
Speak louder. I'm sorry.
I said the building principals and the teachers will determine what's appropriate for their classrooms with regards to the use of technology, paper, pencil, as they've done since the beginning of time. We are not going to eliminate the use of technology in the Central Valley School District, and I know you're not asking that.
Correct.
But whatever they feel the fine matches between what they need to do with their fine motor skills and where they can use technology, that's where that decision will be made.
So can anybody speak to it more specific?
2 principals over there that I'm sure that could speak to it.
I'll go. At Center Grange, we are going to go back to paper pencil.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can you finish?
Hold the pencils. They do have to learn those. We will be using the iPads as well.
Right.
But it will not be as much as we have in the past, since we are now moving to sharing materials and those kinds of things. So we will be using more paper and pencil.
Great, thank you.
And at Todd Lane, that's the teacher's discretion. I know that they do a blended of both, so I can't give you a percentage based because it's different for each grade level.
Okay.
But they definitely do a blended, especially the practical arts. They this year because they had to, because they transitioned to kids. Now they are going to be in their rooms, so that they'll be back to more of their traditional hands-on.
Okay, and I wasn't by any means telling not to do technology.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at some point in time, these kids are young and they need to build upon those motor skills and continue with that, because once they hit a certain age, everything's technology. They can't count money back. They can't think on their own. They can't add. They can't subtract.
The reason why we talk to our teachers about the synchronous instruction versus face-to-face instruction and the importance of getting the kids back in school, a lot of those comments that you're making were brought up by our teaching staff. That, you know, the fine motor skills, need to get the kids here, need to get them writing, working, so on and so forth. So I interviewed through survey every one of our teachers to get their feedback on that, and that's a major reason why we looked at synchronous instruction the way we have moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
When is the curriculum shared? Like, when do we see what's going to be taught as far as the structure? I mean, I know you're talking.
Can you come? I'm sorry. Can you come to the podium? Thank you.
So my question is, when is the curriculum actually shared so that we know what is going to be taught at what grade level and what the expectation is?
So our curriculum is readily available for all of our courses. Do you want to speak as to where your curriculum can be found?
High school curriculum can be found on the website.
Okay. And for the lower grades?
You go to each of the teachers' web pages, you're going to have a curriculum for each class.
So I'm not looking for just a specific teacher. I'm looking at overall because all that should come to a consensus, right? So all first grade should be teaching these subjects at this level. I'm talking high school. The lower kids are the ones where they actually are most impressionable. So I'm more concerned with what's being taught to the primary age students because as you get older, it's regurgitation. We all know it. We all accept it. We know that's what happens. But what happens with these young minds? Where's that curriculum? Where's that agenda?
Website. It's on our website. All of our grade levels teach the same thing. So they team plan and they teach the same curriculum.
And each specific grade is identical. No deviation from that. Okay, because I like to look at that. I will.
Their approach to it,
Their standards.
standards of which they're expected to deliver. Their approach to those standards is up to the teacher as to how they do it. Typically, our teachers get together and plan, and their approach is relatively similar.
Interested in the visibility.
No matter where you're at.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just for the record, can you give your name and address, please?
Yeah, Renee, 225 Rainbow Drive.
Renee who?
Renee Kostowski.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Dave Nemesek. I live on 113 Turkmar Drive. I had to go get a physical form for my son, Grant Nemesek, who just completed 7th grade. And he didn't know how to sign it. I said, Grant, we need your signature on the form. He goes, I don't know what to do. He's in 7th grade. He gets straight A's. He doesn't know how to sign his name. I was blown away. I don't know if any other parents have had that. I go, you got to be kidding me. They don't even know how to sign their name on a piece of paper, and he's in 7th grade. So that made me think when you said that. He doesn't even know how to do cursive. So I was blown away, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He has to sign this physical form to play athletics, but he doesn't know how to sign it. Are you kidding me? 7th grade? Anyway, he's in middle school. And I think it'd be ridiculous to force these kids to wear masks with hospitalization rates less than 1%. Sitting in a classroom with no air conditioning, there's no way in hell that they should wear masks. There's more hospitalization in kids with the flu than with this virus. So that's my opinion. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you for your information, your opinion, whatever. And the thing about signing their name, that's probably something that we need to look at a little better, within our curriculum, and we'll see what we can do, okay? The second thing is, if you were here for our health and safety plan, we're not requiring children to have a mask in school at this point.
But I guess on the buses, so I don't know the difference between the bus, driving in a bus and then going to school. But I heard rumor tonight, Beaver, Seneca Valley, Blackhawk is not requiring masks. I think Hopewell is. So I know it's a CYA thing with the CDC and all that stuff. We're just looking at common sense. Look at the real numbers. Don't follow politics. Don't follow trends. Look at the real numbers. Because we're out there with these kids. I think there's more damage done to these kids because I seen a doctor interviewed on Fox News this week that said there's more damage that kids can't see facial expressions. They learn to speak, especially the younger kids, by the facial expressions. When they're masked up, they don't see that. What's that going to do to them long term when hospitalization rates are less than 1% in children? So that's all I have to say. And I have a special needs child who has type 1 diabetes. And I'm fine with him not wearing a mask.
Thank you.
I always just feel like I need to say something. I'm sorry, Jennifer Checketts. I just want to say thank you for you guys always coming. I think this is like the 4th meeting that we've had good outcome with the community. So thank you guys. Please keep coming. Like things could change and die down, but they still need to know that you guys care. I know we're all frustrated, but I just kind of want to make a statement to everybody. Like those guys over against that wall, I know we're all frustrated. I'm frustrated. I talk to Mr. Perry all the time. I talk to our building principals. if you have a question, those guys over there are here for us. Like, they really are. And I know it's frustrating to not know what's going on in the schools and all of that, but if they don't answer you the first time, they're busy. They will get to you. The teachers want to hear from you. I know I talked to a middle school teacher last week that actually reached out to me because my son's going into middle school, and I'm like, I heard the middle school teachers don't like to get involved. I don't know what to do because I'm the PTA president for K through 5. I don't know how not to be involved. So, and she was like, no, don't let anyone tell you we don't want to hear. So if you guys have questions about curriculum and stuff like that, and I know it's hard after the past 18 months, but that's what they're here for. They love to hear from you guys. The teachers really love when parents are engaged. Sometimes the questions we have for the school board aren't always theirs to answer. Sometimes we really got to utilize these building principals and teachers too. But please keep coming because there's going to be a lot more going on. So thanks again for coming.
Thank you for your.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, my name's Jean Fargewell, 106 Louise Street. I tried to email most of you today and I could not get through. Is there something wrong with your emails?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
Do we have an email issue?
keep getting an error. It says wait a few minutes. Okay, well, what I'd like to do is email you. I printed off a few of them, but there's too many to actually print off.
If you want to give me what you have, I can scan it and give it to the board.
Yeah, but there's like about 20 more that I'd like to send you. And what they are peer-reviewed reports, okay? And I would encourage you to, I know you're going by what the CDC says, but the CDC is a political organization, okay? What I would encourage you to do is to look at, and you said, I can pull up things on both sides of the aisle. Well, that's not what you should do. You should go by the peer-reviewed reports. These are studies that involve 3,000 to 6,000 people, okay, with mask studies, okay, and they have very technical aspects to them, okay? And I have a few to drop off, and I'd like to send you all the rest of them, okay? Because basically they all say the same thing, that masks are completely ineffective. They're not really meant for widespread use, like everyone's using them.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you for coming.
Good evening, guys. My name is Josh Himes, 108 Poplar Avenue, Monaca, PA. So, simply, I'd just like to say, I would encourage you guys, just not saying, hey, this is what we need to do, but if you guys please, if you will, just think like, can we be the leaders? From everything I know from obviously Monaca and Center to Center, the Central Valleys, we are leaders. Our teams are all champs. We're leaders. We're the boss, right? Let's make some leader moves, and let's be the first. Whether one school's doing it or not school's doing it, let's make the way. Like, avoid the mask if altogether. Leave it for the choice, the discretion for the parents. Leave it up to the parents whether they want to mask their kid or not mask their kid. Let's leave the freedom of choice. And I know right now we're still on holding. Right now you're saying we're good for the schools. It's not a force, but on the buses it is. And it goes back and forth because we wait for the end all be all CDC, the not governing law body that they think they are, to make the rules. But if we come out as a school body ourselves and we come out, we say, hey, it's our choice. It's Central Valley's choice for our parents, for our kids to do what we want to do. Other schools will follow suit. You see some schools are doing something further or first and they're doing second, or I'm going to do this school's doing. Let's be the boss. Let's be the leaders. Let's be the ones say, hey, listen, this is our school. We're going to leave it to our parents. We're going to leave it to our choice for the bus or for the school, regardless. That mask is going to be the choice of the parents, period. And so I'll encourage you guys to do is just leave it so we can be the first. We can make the rule. We can make the rules. That's all I'm asking for you guys, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to say one last thing. I'm an artist, and I would be more than happy to teach all these kids cursive for nothing.
Handle it. Thank you.
Rachel Schwer, 123 York Way, Monaca. I just wanted to ask, I had asked building principals before about having the school buildings open, like in years past, where the doors are locked and everything, but that the kids can go in and find their classrooms. And I was told that was going to be discussed by the administration.
This year at Center Grange, there'll be an open house for there'll be a new student orientation and a third grade orientation at Todd Lane. There'll be a new student sixth grade orientation at the middle school, and there'll be a new student ninth grade orientation at the high school.
Okay, new students, but existing students, like I've never been in Todd Lane.
Third grade students who are coming from Center Grange, we have an orientation.
Right, but we didn't have that opportunity last year. And whilst our students who are now going to be in fourth grade, they were in the building. Things were very different with how they were able to navigate the halls and things like that. And me as a parent, I have never seen where my child goes to school every day.
I'm sure if you reach out to they'll accommodate.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To speak. On my all call, I am doing new students and students who have not come into the building.
Okay.
So that is part of my.
Because they were virtual.
Everybody.
I apologize. We did talk about that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be for third grade students, new students, and any students who have not had the opportunity to come.
I'm sorry. I missed.
Thank you.
Talk about that.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I do not want children running around the building. Because I will be the only one there.
I just wanted to reiterate what she had spoken about with the emails to the board members. I have emailed all of you multiple times. The only one I've received a response from was Dr. Perry. I don't know if you've received them or not, but I did have a lot of trouble trying to set up an email system for all of the board members. And I've set up email systems with all the teachers and have never had any problems. So where's the IT guy?
Everybody in the district is first initial, last name at Central.
Oh, no, I've gotten them, but it's just the setup. Like, I haven't received the verification email back for the board members, so I don't know if there's a problem with the board members. I've never had a trouble with a teacher or an administrative body.
Take a look. I can tell you that the board member emails are set up identical to the teacher emails, but I will take a look.
Okay, same problem, though. Has anyone received any emails from parents that okay, all right.
Excuse me, what is your name?
My name's Barbara Shearer. I announced it the last time I spoke.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Look for that, Barbara.
Okay, good. And I wanted to know, are we able to introduce the health and safety plan to the agenda for next week's meeting so we can discuss it in depth?
I think we're discussing it now.
I don't know what exactly was decided the last month, but I know Mr. Zirinsky mentioned some sort of
As
session.
Barry mentioned earlier, that we're still waiting for some responses from some state representatives, and that there was talks with the solicitor and their office internally about some of the interpretation of what a mandate is. The consensus came back the same. We did not seek outside of our solicitor on that. But as of right now, we've not gotten any information that deviates. Look, I support that it should be the parent's decision on whether the kids wear masks. But a mandate on a bus, as was explained by the solicitor, is law. I read right after the meeting that Congress was trying to introduce bills to remove that power because it was law. So for what we have right now in our health and safety plan, I feel that it is written well, that gives this board the ability to sit there and not close the door on the Department of Health and close the door on the CDC. And all we're doing is listening to what they have to say. And I think that's fair, taking information from all sources. I'm not saying we're following it, but we would leave the door open and listen to all sources and come together and evaluate as things change, whether they change for the worse or they change for the better. We will sit there and take guidance from all sources. Mandates are a completely different thing.
Yes, I agree, and I appreciate the statement that you just made. I think that at the last month's meeting, when we had 70 parents here, their only request was to move the bottom line that said that we would take lead from the CDC and the Pennsylvania Department of Health. So I think that is.
Believe it what it said.
Huh?
I think it was guidance.
Guidance, lead, whatever. But those were the only two outside factors that were being considered in the in the decision-making, or at least that's what it appeared to be to all the parents here that evening who expressed their concern, and then everyone, with the exception of one, voted for the health and safety plan. So I think like when you get 70 people who show up, it's very important that we listen to them. And may I ask, who was the no vote? Someone on the phone voted no.
I don't think anybody.
Health and safety. Am I wrong on that?
I don't think anybody voted no.
No, I heard one nay, but I
O'Neill
could.
hurried up and rushed the vote, but I heard a nay on the phone.
First of all, I was away, I was in Florida, and I voted yes.
Okay.
It is published, it'll be published in the meeting minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It will be published in the meeting.
Okay.
She has a minute. She said everybody
No
voted.
vote regarding Center Grange. There was not a no vote on the health and safety plan.
Okay, my mistake. All right. Thank you.
James Peters, 2596 Front Street. What is the ramifications for not following the mandate? Do we know what the consequences of that would be?
On the buses?
Yes.
Sir?
Yeah, there's a civil penalty provision in that law.
Of what?
Pardon me?
I'm sorry, to the student?
There are civil penalties for anyone not following that law, that they are provided in that particular section. Yes.
Wait. One at a time, please.
It doesn't specify that you have to be over the age of 18 for this to be enforced. That particular law does not say that. Anytime that a entity such as a school district also refuses to follow a federal mandate, they do put themselves at risk for loss of federal funding as well. So that is also a potential risk that the district is taking, that if they were to refuse. I'm sorry, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
No, I apologize.
At all.
Sorry. Anytime a school an entity such as a school district willfully violates a federal law or a federal mandate, they do expose themselves to the potential of losing federal funding. Mr. Malley can explain how much this district relies on federal funding, especially for our special education teachers and our special education programs. I am not going to advise the district to violate a federal law.
So you're telling me that we're doing all this over money?
That is one thing, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Is it just money?
No.
Or does it open us to anything else?
I believe that it is possible that it could potentially open anyone who's making this decision willfully to a potential penalty, a civil penalty.
We as a board are not.
Criminal penalty, absolutely.
Lawsuits unless we are negligent in what we do. And not following a federal mandate or law would open us up to being negligent.
Can you tell me in the Constitution where mask mandates are listed?
It's listed.
I can't tell you in the United States.
Can't tell me
where Congress. There are many things.
Congress can pass all the laws they want. If it's not listed, it's not listed, and they can't have that power. It's not listed.
Answer for you that.
So it's not listed, and it's about the money.
It's Constitution, and I don't think any attorney is going to tell you that it would be.
Right, so I was Grant Phillips, Simon Township again, but I was just doing some light reading of the Declaration of Independence, and it says, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Now, I don't know about you, but we're searching for our life and our liberty to not wear masks, and you guys have allowed that. But with following the guidance of the CDC and other government agencies, they are not allowing us to use those rights. And I'm just wondering if you have anything to give me about that, because to me the Independent Declaration says I can live my life and the way, and now you got to follow rules, but follow those. I don't know, how do I safety in that? I don't know, just something to think about, that the Declaration says that we are allowed to live our life and liberty, and I don't know if masks are part of that. So.
Thank you.
Hi, Brent Himes, 108 Poplar Avenue, Monaca. So I'm a concerned mom. I have 3 kids. They're not even attending school yet. They're 3 under 3, so they're very, very small. But I'm here because I'm concerned. I'm frustrated. As you can tell, there's a lot of parents here that are just looking at the future of our children. And to be honest with you guys, we should all really be concerned. For the past several months, I've had the honor to travel the country and talk to other school boards and talk to other parents and just see, like, how are we going to overcome this? If you guys see, our rights are being stripped from us day by day. And sometimes it's okay when it comes to the parents. I understand, like, with the mask situation, it's easier for me to throw on a mask. But when I see my kids do it, when it's scientifically proven to hurt the children, it's breaking my heart and it's making us angry. And so you see these people here. This is the community. We support you guys in a way of, like, we trust you with our children. And I truly believe that we have to stand on our rights with our constitutional rights, because guys, more and more is just being stripped away, and we have to open our eyes to this. Because if we don't, our medical, I'm never going to put a mask on my child. So if they can't, if something comes where they have to go to school with a mask, I can't bring them here. And that's sad. I want my kids to grow up the way I grew up. But like we're seeing over and over, the CDC guys, they're wrong on so many different accounts, are making mistakes. And at some point we got to say, okay, let's stop. Let's take a break. Let's breathe. Let's figure out what's right for our children. Because I'm telling you right now, it's breaking my heart to see the frustration in people. And we cannot have our community divided anymore. And this is what's happening, because you're having the parents come here trying to spill their heart out. They're trying to get together. They're trying to figure out what is the solution to this massive problem. And this is the solution right here, this room. We can totally make a difference. We can stand on our rights. We can get our sheriff involved if we need to. We got to do something to make it right for our children, and especially for the parents, because I know, like, I believe in the school systems. I would love for my children to come to the school. We live right down the road. My husband's proud to live back here. I just want it to be right, and I'm telling you, these masks are not a good thing, and the more and more we comply, the more and more you're going to see. It's not just going to affect our children, it's going to start affecting you guys even more. So this is going to be a domino effect on everybody and on our community, on our society. And I don't want to see it crumble, okay? So I'm standing here out of love, out of concern, and guys, there's always loopholes. There's always a loophole. I just feel like we need to find them. And we need to stand up and actually realize when there are people wrong, when the CDC is wrong, when the health department is wrong. They have made multiple bad decisions, and people's lives have paid for that. My kid will not. And I don't think anyone here should either. And that's all I have to say.
Stosky 225 Rainbow Drive. So we talk about science, we talk about the betterment of the health or safety of our children. CDC has been wrong multiple times. When is it up to the parents to decide what's best for their children? Because now all of a sudden we give these rights and all these abilities to the government to decide for us. They have proven time and time again how many times they have been wrong about the mask. They've flip-flopped back and forth. We've seen that it isn't going to do anything and hasn't done anything as far as to prevent infection or anything else they want to call it, right? And then when you look at the statistics, the true statistics of children, they are not getting this, they are not passing it, but yet we are preventing them from the natural immunities. There's some science that people need to look into, that they're not being allowed to actually be around because they're masked and sanitized. That is affecting their health more so than this virus that's out there. And if you want to talk about masks and everybody's prevention, where was the CDC? What was it last year? 1.8 million died of tuberculosis. Did anybody mask for tuberculosis? No, because the government didn't tell you to, or maybe there wasn't a fine to be raising some money. You're going to talk about kicking a kid off a bus and giving them a civil fine because they put a mask on. What about the children that are special needs? What if they do slip that down? What if, God forbid, somebody pulls it off and falls? Is it going to be the kid who doesn't have the mask on or the kid that pulled it off? This opens up a whole slippery slope. And if it's just about putting on a bus, you're going to have mask on the bus but not mask in school. Oh, that's right. Let me sit and eat. Now I'm free. I'm safe. This is ridiculous. It's time that we do become the leaders of this community and decide what is right for our children in our township. Our tax dollars are here. I don't even have kids in this township, in this school anymore. But guess what? My tax dollars are still here. And I am worried about the agenda because guess what? I'm going to look at that curriculum because if I see that lie and hate being taught in this school, I will be up here every single day and I will get a letter to every one of you if I have to handwrite it. Because that hate doesn't get taught in school. My tax dollars won't pay for hate. You want to teach hate because hate is taught, you teach that wherever the hell you are teaching it. Because it doesn't belong in school. It doesn't belong in our community. And if you look around this community, you don't see hate. You see gather. You see people that are committed. You see people that are caring about their children, loving their families, and wanting to do what's right. That's the voice that needs to be heard. Not the government or this or whatever else. We the people know what's right and what's best for our children. And it's time that we start acting for them because they're too young and they don't know. And they don't even know what freedom is. And they don't even know what real history is in certain circumstances. And I'm not going to challenge what's being taught right now in history or not, but I can tell you just from my kids going through, I've seen a decline in education over the years. From my first to my last, definitely a drop. All straight A students, absolutely. But if you challenge them, what they learn in the classroom versus what they learn at home, that gap between there, thank God we had caring parents in our home because we made sure our kids were informed. And you know what? I taught them how to think, not what to think. And that's what this needs to happen. That's all.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ford Thurston, and I'm a proud Pennsylvania native. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm here with Bryn. And it's funny that I came here tonight because I think about the same stuff as you all do all the time. And in Nashville, it's wide open. I mean, and everyone, I'm sure people here have been there before, and it is gangbusters. People are out doing their thing, and they're having lower rates than ever in downtown, you know. But that's not really my point. I have actually an idea. I don't know if you've heard this, but when was last year that you guys were in school? Was it the end of the year the kids were in, or have you never been in?
We were in all year.
We're in all year.
You were in all year last year?
Month off for break.
From Thanksgiving until after.
Well, then why not this year keep track of how many kids get COVID and how many kids miss school from colds and flu or diarrhea, or what these kids get. And at the end of the year, go, oh, we had 15 COVID cases and we had 1,000 flu, and throw away the meeting. You don't have to have the mask anymore. You know it's, right?
But there's no flu, don't you know that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, at the end of the year, you're going to know that it's not worth your time. Does that make any sense at all?
It's all political.
Political, I get that, but I'm just saying, I just think that way. I think if you only have 15 cases, what's the point? I don't understand. It's just the way my mind works, but sorry to waste your time, but that's just.
Thank you.
Thank you for your input.
Mike Correa, 100 Morning Mist Drive. Just want to say, hypothetically speaking, if my kid doesn't wear a mask on the bus or at school, what's in store? What will be done?
First of all, the masks at school are optional.
Okay.
No one's going to force your child to wear a mask.
For right now.
For right now, it's the case.
And on the bus, if he doesn't
on the bus,
mask or he loses it?
The bus company has regulations too that they have to have their drivers and people on those buses masked.
Understood.
From the bus company is going to be that those students are masked. If they don't wear masks, then obviously they're always open to potential discipline for not following the.
I would like to know what that disciplinary action would be.
Would have to fall under our disciplinary code. Depends on how many infractions.
We work with the kid, we'd offer this mask.
Okay.
If it becomes an insubordinate situation, it would fall into our handbook.
Which it would be? I need to know exactly.
It would be a detention. If it escalates to a second time, that discipline elevates. Just like if you, when you do what the teacher asked you to do in class or being late for class, those types of things.
I see. Okay. I mean, hypothetically speaking, I think if that happens, I think we just need to know as parents what we're up against. Okay, thanks.
Mike Fry, 2508 Beaver Avenue. So question, you're saying that the bus company they have their own set of rules and all that, right? Can we get one of them here at the next meeting so we can talk to them?
I have a representative right here who's our transportation director who deals with the bus company every day.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know that. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, hi, Cindy Phillips. So one question, when did Congress pass this law?
The law is referring to?
Yes.
I'm not loud. According to my my sheet here, and I apologize, it's cut off, but it looks like it was first passed in 1944.
1944, and what is this law called?
It is,
Applies to 2021?
I believe it's called the Public Health Safety Act. I can give you the legal citation of it.
I would appreciate that.
What I'm citing from is 42 U.S. Code 264, subsection A.
U.S. Code what?
Section 264, subsection A.
Okay.
That is the authority under which the CDC issued that order that is being referred to tonight.
Okay. But since the CDC is not a lawmaking authority, only legislatures are.
So under this law, this section 264, which I just cited to you, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, for which the CDC is an arm of, is authorized to make and enforce regulations that are necessary to combat communicable diseases.
Okay. I have from a lawyer that there's no legal authority for schools to enforce masks on buses or in schools. There's even no legal authority to implement a health and safety plan at all. That can be challenged. The universal masking order has expired, but as we're all anticipating that they're going to come back with another masking order, just to remind everybody that it is illegal to enforce illegal orders. Any order that goes against the Constitution, that violates civil rights, is null and void. Marbury versus Madison. I forget what year that is, but anybody can look it up. You can't do it. This is a medical intervention. It's an experiment. It has not been proven, and we have the right of no consent.
Okay, anyone else?
Last time, I promise.
Excuse me a minute. This is your third time, and I would ask, make it your last, because we want to get the meeting moving along. There's somebody else that wants to say something.
Okay. Is there a thing in the bylaws that says how many times you're allowed to approach the podium?
Board's permitted to make reasonable regulations for the conduct of its meetings. So
They have to vote on that first.
I believe we have a policy in place on.
Okay.
You have the right to do that.
All right. So anyway, my question was, if the board were to decide we didn't want masks on the bus, and the bus company said, yes, we do have to have masks on the bus, is the board okay with seeking out transportation from a different bus company?
Well, that would go back to our busing contract. There's language in the busing contract that dictates how and when you can get out of the contract with regards.
Wouldn't that be breach of contract, though?
I would have to look at the contract. I would have to look at the contract if that became an issue.
But you guys would look at it if we said.
Became an issue, I would certainly would look at that.
Thank you.
Leah Palladino, Bainbridge Drive. Regarding the critical race theory from the last meeting, are you guys able to watch the video?
I sent the video to all the board members.
So everybody actually watched the video? A little disgusting, or you guys were all with it?
No, there was parts that.
Ending?
Here's my thought on that, and I don't disagree with you. And my thought of that is that 5 years ago, I'm not saying it wouldn't have been an issue, but it wouldn't be brought up because everything that's come to light has made everything amplified and more hype. Yes, I did watch it. I understand and took some from Mr. O'Neill's views and also some of the stuff that deemed inappropriate. Yes.
With regards to Mr. O'Neill, which views did you get?
I understand that there when you're sitting there and you're in a setting and you're talking and you're trying to have discussion and you're trying to bring up like what's wrong with this, what could we do, what would happen if you saw this and you heard this, that there are things that channel around that, but I don't know the intent. That would be something that I'm not an educator, but I do understand all aspects of that, and I understand the offensive part of it. I understand in timeline and place what all is going on in the media about this and what it is. So there's multiple dynamics on it. I don't think it has a place in this school.
See, I guess I never would have thought that a video like that would have gotten into this school with the anti-bullying advisory class. And just, I guess, I was totally blind to a lot of things. I guess my eyes are getting opened up a little bit. Because when I was growing up, we never had those kind of videos. I was just wondering about Mr. O'Neill because, see, he said one thing in the parking lot, and then at the last meeting he said another thing, so it was like, that's why I was asking you, so which one? But regarding the critical race theory, I guess Tuesday night, the Senate passed an anti-critical race theory bill that prohibits federal funding from going to pre-K and K through 12 schools that teach critical race theory. So I guess we shouldn't have a problem with that anymore in our schools. Am I correct on that, if you guys still want your federal funding?
I don't think anybody was trying to teach critical race theory in that class or through that video. And
when you have
the district has had zero discussion about critical race theory in any of our curriculum meetings, curriculum writing, any of our curriculum teams.
Well, it has a lot of other different meanings than just CRT, critical race theory, discrimination, racism, all that other stuff.
Discussion about implementing critical race theory in our curriculum.
Because when you have like a little white girl with blonde hair, blue eyes saying, I'm so sorry for being white and I'm privileged, like, I don't know. I mean, I grew up blonde. I don't know where it went, right? Because whenever I had my kid, I went and got brown hair with red highlights. But anyways, she took my hair color. But it doesn't need to be in the schools. But with regards to the masking, the CDC and the Department of Health are publishing misinformation. I know a lot of people have already been talking, but the PCR tests used to detect a COVID can't distinguish between the flu and the COVID virus. The tests were also throwing false positive results. The CDC, I don't even know where they're getting their numbers at. I really don't. The PCR tests have been recalled for these reasons. Healthcare providers have until December 31st to initiate new COVID testing procedures. And we're still following the PCR testings. The CDC is recommending masking right now, but we all know that the masks will be required by the time school starts. I mean, we're not stupid. We know that they're going to be requiring them. The CDC does not make laws. This is coming from an attorney. They only have the power to regulate disease prevention between two states or between a foreign country and one state. CDC can't require masks in schools or on the school buses. And regarding the schools that have optional masking on school buses, Elwood City and Beaver County, please look those up. Blackhawk just put out something today, but I didn't have time to look at it. CDC does not make laws. Like I said, there are schools that are not requiring the masks in Beaver County or Beaver Area School District and Elwood City, and I believe Shenango. But theirs is more like, depends on how many students are sent home with the virus or testing positive, and then they'll start putting the masks on. I just wanted to ask a simple question. Did you ever look at see who funds the CDC, the people that you're following for all these guidelines? Go in there and look to see who gives them all their money. Pfizer's one of them. A lot of other places are one of them too. The CDC is not following the science. Viruses are spread by aerosol particles that can easily go through masks. This virus will never go away and will consistently mutate like the flu virus. Masking our children is only causing mental and physical harm. It is actually considered child abuse by interfering with the breathing of a child per the Pennsylvania Child Protective Services law. We asked this board last meeting to not follow the CDC as they are not following the science. Religious exemptions were denied last year. Are they going to be denied this year?
They haven't put anything out on religious exemptions.
The order does not address religious exemptions. It does address medical exemptions.
So we're not allowed to have?
Not according.
I couldn't hear you, so I'm sorry.
Sorry, not according to the January 21 order. No.
Okay, well, we asked this board to revise the health and safety plan to omit the statement under 3A as per the January 29th, 2021 CDC order. Face coverings are required to ride the school bus. Again, CDC does not make the laws. And the statement on page 14, the little blurb that says on the bottom, document is subject to change based on PA Department of Health and CDC guidelines. So I guess that was never taken into consideration. because that's what we're all here for, because we thought that you guys we're all working together. We might have got a little heated last time, but we're still trying to work together because we're frustrated, angry, upset, sad.
Frustrated. We're all frustrated.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm trying to work with you. No, there's no question about it. I will put our kids in front of anything and anybody. I think that this district has done its best that we can to make sure that our kids are educated, to make sure that our kids get to come to school. We're all frustrated. This is very frustrating. That every bit of it's frustrating. And, we're doing the best we can to make sure that, we're mindful of everybody. And there's people that are out there that want kids masked.
Where are they at?
I get emails. I'm not saying where they. I'm saying I get emails. There's people out there that want the kids masked.
Trolls that are behind a computer.
Let me speak. This board has said that they feel that it should be the parents' decision as to what we do with these kids as far as masking goes. We have said that masks are optional. The bus thing is certainly something that we are continuing to monitor. We continue to look at guidance. I spoke to every superintendent in Beaver County, and I will reach back out to Mr. Postepek to find out what Blackhawk's doing. But as of any conversation I've had with every superintendent, as far back as a couple of days ago, everybody was falling in line with the mandate that the students had to have the mask on buses. Whether or not they enforce it, that's a whole other story. But every superintendent, and I'll find out because there's a meeting again on Friday afternoon with the superintendents to find out who's changed their take on that in the county with their solicitors, their boards, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I know.
I do believe, based on what I heard today, that there's going to be additional guidance coming out from the Department of Ed, whatever that is. I don't know, which I'm sure will spurn debate and discussion about where we are. I can tell you that there's nothing I want more than to see us return to some sort of normalcy in our lives. I live with a teacher. I have kids that are school age. Okay, I'm living this like everybody else is. And, I want what's best for our children. What I think is best for our children is get them in school. So whatever we need to do to get them in school, that's what we'll do. Okay. Now, as far as the masking goes, we have taken the stance at this point, once again, that we think that's optional and that parents should make that decision for their kids. And I understand the bus hang up. We're not saying we're vaccinating anybody. We're not saying that we're testing anybody for COVID. Okay? The only thing up in the air right now in question is what are we doing about the busing? And we feel that there is a mandate that says we have to do that. If something changes, then we certainly will be the first ones to say that we're changing our stance on that. But I'm frustrated. They're frustrated.
Sure.
Teaching staff's frustrated. All of our parents are frustrated. Our country's frustrated.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's what we're living in right now. Yeah. Now, we're trying to do the best we can. I'm trying to do the best I can as leader of this district to navigate us through this so that, most importantly, our kids are here getting educated and we're not shutting them out of school. Because last year when the CDC was recommending and the Department of Health was recommending that we cut back on the number of kids that could come to school, that we put kids on every other day schedules, that we do all that kinds of stuff that I personally felt and this board felt was going to be a strain on this community, a strain on our parents, that we didn't want to see that happen. And we didn't go with what the norm was or what we were being told to do. Okay, and believe me, a lot of people turned their nose at us because we did that.
No, I commend you. That's
because we thought it was right for the kids. We're trying to do right now what we think is right for the kids. The bus thing, we just got to be a little bit more patient, see what happens over the next couple of weeks. If something changes, we certainly be the first ones to come out and say we're changing our stance on that situation.
I do have one question. So what if the CDC does come out with saying, oh, masks are required in the next week or whatever?
Well, as of right now, the stance of this district and this board is the kids are going to be required to wear masks on buses based on that.
Are they still going to be optional in the classrooms when the CDC requires the kids to be masked up?
In classrooms?
I'm not aware of a federal mask mandate that ever came down, and I don't know if there will be one. That mask mandate came from the
My stance will be it's the parents' option. It should be left up to the parents, as I am one. I have 3 children. Other things that you do have to understand, and I understand that there's frustration, as Dr. Perry said. There are a lot of people out there that maybe they're not wanting to come here, but there are other avenues to communicate with this board. And that there are several emails that say the complete opposite of what many of you are saying here today. And you have to be fair as a district. We talk about that, and that this is a community. And there are people that have different views. There's people that have different political views.
Oh,
People
absolutely.
that have different views on masks. There's people that have different views on vaccinations. And we have to sit there as these 9 people with Dr. Perry and try to, what we feel, based off of input and everything else, what's the best for the entire district.
Absolutely.
Not the 70 people that came, not the 300 emails that came, and everything else like that is at a whole. Okay, I have my views, and I don't think that the kids should be wearing masks on buses, okay? But that is a personal view. Looking for the community as a member of this board, based off of a recommendation of a solicitor, I feel that I should follow that. My kid will have, as much as I don't want him to, my child will wear a mask on the bus. When he gets out to school,
Here for parent choice.
every day, it's a 2-minute bus ride.
Yeah.
You know, when we flew, he had a mask on. If I didn't want him to wear the mask, we'd have been driving. It was a choice.
Yeah.
Those are just different things that go on, and I have to look at things as a whole, not in a tunnel.
The only reason why I'm up here and I'm asking this is because I've got applications out there for my kid right now for cyber school. As I'm sure many parents are looking at different options because my kid's not going to get masked this year. Yes, I'll concede and maybe do the bus thing, but in school for the however many hours she's in school, there's no way she's doing the mask. So that's why I kind of need to know because I need to get going. I mean, she's already got 2 spots held for her, but it's just like I need to give them her information.
Right now, our stance is, as the health and safety plan says, that masks are optional for kids.
Okay. And even if the CDC comes back and says that they're required.
I'm not going to speak to that. I'm not going to handcuff us today and say that's what will happen. I mean, obviously, if something comes down, we'll have to discuss that and figure out, what that means to us and where we plan on going with that.
Right.
And we do respect the community. We respect the community a ton. I would say most of the decisions we make are based on the community and making sure that we're trying to do what we think the community wants.
Okay.
So.
I appreciate it.
I know there's people.
5-year-old grandson asked me today, do I have to wear a mask in school? I said, Heath, as of right now, no. I said, that may change. We don't know. I mean, he's asking.
Yeah.
Going to kindergarten this year.
You look around, we all have skin in the game, right? I got 3 grandchildren, 2 going to the middle school and 1 in Todd Lane. So, yes, Mr. Zaritsky has a couple kids in school. Mr. Moat has
I know he has.
a child in school. So it's not like we're on this island calling all the shots and we don't care about it.
I know that.
Okay. So at this point, I'd just like to say we'll take into consideration what you have suggested. The point being, our administration, our faculty, our students, and our parents have been great. They've been so great through all this that you can't keep a house in a market in Central Valley School District. It becomes a bidding war. So people want to come here. We're not that bad. This is a great school district, and we're
Having a heck of a lot more since Hopewell just required masks.
we appreciate all your input, and I'd like to just have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I would like to ask something.
Ted, how many trips to the podium?
Yeah.
The 3rd trip.
The motion on the floor.
Sorry. Number 1, if we homeschool our children, do the funds come with the child in this school district? Do the funds follow the child?
For homeschool?
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
No.
I don't think so.
No. So how do the funds follow the child? What are the options?
I'm sorry, I'm confused by your
If
question.
if your child goes to another school district, whether that's private school, cyber school, or whatever money that is, that's where the money goes.
Okay.
As far as
But not homeschooling.
child, if you homeschool your child is eligible to receive things from the district like books, and they can participate in athletics, so on and so forth. Whether or not they count towards the ADM, which is the number of kids that attend your school. I got to look into that, but.
I was just curious. And to your response or your statement about a bidding war for the homes in Central Valley, that's nationwide. There are bidding wars.
I know places in this county that can't sell a house. And I don't want to specifically.
Might be pricing, but I'm just saying that there in Beaver, there's.
Pricing regardless. Well, it's a bidding war. The bidding war continually.
It's just not exclusive to Central Valley.
All except the bidding war in Central Valley. Thank you for your input.
Thank you.
Well, I'll have a second adjourn. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.